Well, hello everyone. Cliff Ravenscraft here, and that's supposed to be Stephanie on the other side, and I totally am messing things up right from the beginning. So give me just a second. How do I do this now? I need to assign Stephanie to guest one. Hello, Stephanie. How are you?
Hello, I'm doing well.
Awesome. And you know what? Now that I'm sitting here playing with this, I've got to see if I can figure out how to get you and I over here. So what I'll do is I'll do that. And oop, right there. Hello. Of course, you don't
Hi.
notice. You're not seeing
I
anything that I'm
can't.
doing
No,
at all. So
nope.
Stephanie and I are trying new software today. Actually, I'm trying new software today. Stephanie
I'm
is
just along for the ride.
along for the ride. And I think we've been playing around with stuff like this for quite some time. But anyway, Stephanie, this is an episode of Family from the Heart that we are getting ready to record for our podcast, correct?
Correct.
All right. So with that being said, we're not going to play around with the technology too much. I do want to make sure that I can do this though. So if I go here, that's just me. All right, and I can put my lower third up here. I can do that, and it's Stephanie's lower third, and then there's our lower third. All right. We are broadcasting live on the internet. If anybody happens to be tuned in right now, feel free to comment as long as you are on YouTube and Facebook. That includes my Facebook profile or Stephanie's Facebook profile. If you are on LinkedIn, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, the change in technology, we've moved over to Ecamm, and Ecamm does not bring through LinkedIn comments like StreamYard did. So if you happen to be watching us on LinkedIn, feel free to hop over to youtube.com/Cliff Ravenscraft would probably be your best viewing experience. They have the best quality there, but Facebook will work as well. I kind of like Facebook comments the best because when they come in, it actually shows a person's name rather than a user ID typically on YouTube. So anyway, there's that. And with that being said, we are recording a podcast first and foremost. So let me just go over here and find out where is that recording. Are you ready? We're just gonna let the audio jingle play. So here we go. Wrong jingle. Where we do have Family from the Heart on here, right? Yeah, there it is. I found it. It was on another pad. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to another episode of The Family from the Heart, a podcast that is devoted to giving you a behind-the-scenes look into the lives of the Ravenscraft family, a family that has given up on the ordinary to pursue the lives for which they were created. Now, here are your hosts, Cliff and Stephanie.
Welcome, everyone. We are super excited to be back with this newest episode of Family from the Heart. What episode number is this, Stephanie? Do we know?
No, not a clue.
It is episode number 440.
Gotcha.
And today we're going to be talking about what we've been watching on... I've got all kinds of stuff going on over here. Okay. We're going to be talking about what we have been watching on streaming services, television these days, and we're also going to give you a Thanksgiving 2023 update. How does that sound?
Sounds perfect.
Sweet. And by the way, before we begin, we are streaming live on the internet these days. Once again, just like we used to do back in the old days of 2008, 2009, 2010, and 2011. I don't know when we stopped doing it, but we're back to streaming live once again. And today we've got a comment from Troy Price who says, "So happy that Family from the Heart is back." And of course, we're toying around. Stephanie and I are playing around with this new software called Ecamm. And the exciting thing is that I get to see the fact that I'm split screen with me on the left, Stephanie on the right, and I get to see the overlay here. But with this technology that we're using right now, Stephanie's only seeing me on the screen. Am I hearing, is that correct, Stephanie?
Correct. Like I see you, and then I'm in a tiny little thing underneath of you. And yeah.
Yeah, and now I'm gonna do this live, and of course I think our Family from the Heart audience will understand, our audio listeners, but because I want to see what this is like. What? Go ahead. Were you gonna say
Now I
something?
can see. No, I found the comments. So now I can see the comments.
Oh, so there is a way you can see the comments?
Once that there were comments there, yes.
Okay, so if I take that away, do you see anything?
It stayed the same. So if you changed something, it didn't change for me.
Oh, okay. But you are able to see the comments as they come in. Well, that's
Yes.
cool. But you're okay. So I still want to try one thing though, and I know this doesn't make great for the audio, but I want to go to Ecamm Live, and I think there's preferences down here. And if I go to interview, I want to see what you think about this. And this is very jarring for some people, but I'm going to switch over to broadcast. Now, did that change? Do you see us side by side right now?
We are side by side, but that's how we were last week with StreamYard.
Okay, but
Mark.
do you notice anything different that's annoying to you right now? Say something to me. Like, just speak to me for just a moment.
I am speaking to you for just a moment. I don't know.
Okay, so you're not noticing it. Real quickly here, I'm going to put Troy's comment back up. So now do you see Troy's comment overlaid on top of us?
I do.
Okay, and when you speak, you're not thrown off at all.
No. Why would I be?
Because, so the other day when I was talking about this, I was told by Michael Stelzner, he's like, listen, whatever you do, don't you do interviews with Ecamm Live because there's like a significant delay. And so yesterday I was doing some testing with Jesse, who came on and did a test with me. And I had what we have here, and when he was speaking, he couldn't even like talk to me because he was so distracted by the fact that his lips were like a whole half a second or more delayed from when he was talking. But you're not experiencing that.
Well, I'm not looking at my lips. Now that you say that, I can see them moving differently in the video, but I'm looking at the camera, not at myself.
So perfect. Okay, but then if you wanted to look down to see what was happening on the screen. So for example, I can hide the comment.
But then I'm going to move my eyes to the comment, not to my face.
Which you can do every now and then, right? So you're right to look at the camera a majority of the time. But if you wanted to see, like, hey, if you want to, like, for example, there's a new comment here. So every now and then it wouldn't be so bad to look down and say, hey, which do you like better, option 1 or option 2? And so you could look down.
I've lost your sound. Like I can barely hear you, and it's coming through muffled. So I don't know if that's because of the change or if that's based on the sound issues we were having prior.
So can you hear me now? So we are having technical difficulties. All right. So don't know why we would be having technical difficulties right now. And Stephanie's not hearing me. So let me switch back to, if I switch back to host camera, can you hear me now? Nope. All right. So my
I can hear you if I can barely hear you. And it's kind of like my sound would be turned all the way down, but I haven't touched my volume or like the headphones are dying, but does that make sense? Like you're just barely there, and there is a feedback staticky noise coming with you when you speak.
Yeah, and
it's the same problem that we were having before that you said you fixed.
Well, I didn't say I fixed. You said it had gone away. So
it did.
Right, and now it's back. Okay, well, what shall we do? I'm wondering if this staticky noise is somewhere between our hardware equipment and that it would happen even if we had not switched over to Ecamm, or if it's something going on inside of the Ecamm software. Did you hear hear that at all?
Well, hold on. I'm hearing it very lightly, so don't interrupt me processing it. Here's what I think I'm actually hearing because you spoke for longer that time. I am barely hearing you, what I can hear more sounds like a squirrel repeating what you're saying. Like it's like a jarbled recording.
Okay, so it might be my Rodecaster. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to Facebook real quick and listen to what it sounds like through the live broadcast. And if it could be my Rodecaster. Listen to what it sounds like through the live broadcast. And it could be my Rodecaster. No, I'm coming through loud and clear there. So it's something.
Oh, you're back.
I'm back?
Maybe it is my equipment. It's back. You're back.
Huh, because I didn't do anything other than close a browser, and I moved my microphone. Hello. Everything's back.
Your volume is back.
Okay, so we're good right now.
Oh, nope, you're good. I mean, it's going to come in and out. So we either stop recording and figure out the issue, or we just keep going and...
Well, at this point, I'm more concerned about solving the issue if we're going to do live streams together.
Okay.
So it's out now?
Do what?
Is it out now?
It's in and out. So
Okay.
I catch some and like I had to have you repeat because I didn't catch the is it out now?
Okay, so anybody, well, I think it's between Chris Murray and we got Chris Murray here and Troy Price. So you guys are saying that I hear 100%. So I don't think anybody is saying there's anything on my end. So it's not anything that my Rodecaster is sending to the computer. So it is something on either the transmission of Ecamm to your browser, or it's the equipment on your end. So do me a favor and just move your headphones around. Could it be your head, like just jingle? Yeah, pull your thing. Does that change anything? Like pull your cable? No? Can you hear me back to normal yet?
That, I mean, no, that's not,
Okay.
no.
Yeah, it wouldn't be up here. It would be more like if you pulled the cord, like where the connection is to the Rodecaster, is where I'm wondering if your headphones might be. Let me come look at that.
Hold on. You're back right now.
Yeah, I think it
So
might be your
let's see
connect.
if-
Let me come upstairs. I'm going to play this music in the background for just a moment. Not that music.
I like that music.
All right, I'll be there.
Oh, that's gonna put me to sleep, y'all.
Okay, can you hear me now, Stephanie?
I can hear you.
Okay, but normally, right?
Yep.
Okay, so here is what I think that it was. We have your headphones are plugged into so we use these Sony 7506 headphones, and it comes with a 1/8 inch adapter, but or plug, but it also has a 1/4 inch adapter, and it screws on, and it wasn't screwed in all the way, and so I'm thinking there might just have been a little bit of touch of a
Gotcha.
connection issue. We're going to start over the podcast part of it. We're not going to start over the live stream. However, we are going to look at, I'm going to switch you back over to broadcast because you said that was not an issue for you to see broadcast. Okay, so you should be seeing Troy Price comment on the screen now.
Yep.
Okay, so
Yes, I do.
I do want you to be able to see that, and you're not going to be distracted like some other people because you're not going to be looking at your lips when you're talking. You're going to be looking at the camera when you're talking, right?
I mean, I'm going to try. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's what you were doing. And somebody said that you were delayed. So let's see here. So Chris Murray said that she is delayed. But I'm going to go to Facebook, and I'm going to see if I notice that you're delayed on my end. So I'm going to click here, and then just go ahead and say something, Stephanie. Say, Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Okay. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
All right, give me a second. Just go ahead and say something, Stephanie. Say, Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Okay. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Okay, you are not you're not delayed. You're not delayed on this end. You are going to see a delay.
Right.
You're seeing a delay, but the stream is not seeing a delay. Now, Chris Murray might be seeing a delay, but there's not a delay that's naturally happening that I can see. So, but Chris, I do appreciate you letting me know. Troy had said, I hear 100%. Let's see here. What else do we hear? We've got Sam just joined. Sam, thank you. Super happy to have you here. Andrea says, hey, you two. Good Saturday morning. And let's see. Sam says, I hear both of you. And Andrea says, you're both coming through perfect for me. And Chris Murray says, I meant lips are delayed when she speaks. I'm hearing both of you 100%. Yeah, so let me just ask anybody else. Stephanie, say hello again to everyone.
Hello, everybody.
And I'm going to ask you to do that one more time in just a second. So if everyone could say, yes, there's a delay, no, there's no delay. If you could put a comment into the comments for Stephanie when she's speaking. So one more time, Stephanie.
Hello, everybody.
All right. So we'll see what we get as far as some feedback there. Let's see here. Your dad's here. He says your mouth sound are good on your dad's phone. So awesome. Thank you for that. Let's see here. And so Robin just says yes. So I don't know if that means yes, there's a delay, or and then Troy says no delay. I think some people may be seeing a delay depending on what device they're on. I'm not sure, but we're getting some confirmation that it's fine on some people's end. And then Chris Murray is saying no delay now. So, and he was the one who was saying there was a delay previously. All right. I think we're good. I think we're good to go. Now, fun stuff. You know what? I'm not bothered by this. Are you bothered, Stephanie?
No,
Good.
I'm not.
The reason why I'm not bothered by this is because we are trying out some new technology, and it's important for me to know if the technology itself is failing or if we just had a loose connection on her adapter on her headphones, which I think was the issue. We'll find out if we get like a portion of the way into the actual podcast episode itself and it happens again. So, Stephanie, are you ready to do this one more time?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. I need to get back to Family from the Heart. You know what also I can do? Now, Facebook and LinkedIn will get this. By the way, if you are watching, I'm going to say this one more time. If you are watching on LinkedIn, please know that if you're commenting, we're not seeing... Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to do. Okay, I'm glad that this has all happened because I forgot about this. What are you laughing at?
Well, my pre-live stream bathroom run was now like
Do you want to go take
45 minutes ago.
Do you want to go take a bathroom break? We've got plenty of time. I can
And if we're just now starting our hour podcast.
go use the restroom, Stephanie. I will carry the fort here for just a moment. All right. So bear with me here, my friends. There we go. I'm going to put me only on the screen. Stephanie is taking a bathroom break. I'm trying to figure out where the comments are on LinkedIn. All right. Okay. So there are no LinkedIn comments so far, which means we haven't missed any. That's great. So are there any LinkedIn viewers? That's the question. And I think I can actually tell that from up here. And so currently there are no LinkedIn viewers. And I wonder if I could get somebody to go to linkedin.com/Cliff Ravenscraft and post a comment there. I want to try something. If anybody would be willing to do that. There we go. Rob Bain says, here's a comment for you. Thank you, Rob. And what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to go here and I'm going to take like a screen grab of that. And what I will do is I will just drag that over top of here and then say, Bob over on LinkedIn says, here's a comment for you. The sound is all good here. Definitely not ideal as far as how I would like to do comments there. Hello? Oh, okay. That's Stephanie talking in the background. I was like, am I getting an echo? All right. So I do have a way of getting comments from LinkedIn. I just have to keep a LinkedIn window up. And I'll just put LinkedIn right there. And I've got that muted. I think that will work. All right. Thank you, Bob, for doing the LinkedIn comment. Now, how do I get rid of it? There we go. Stephanie is back. Hello, Stephanie.
Hello.
All right. Okay. Most people are getting no delay. By the way, Robin Van Sant, thank you, by the way, Robin, for your feedback. You're saying yes, delay. Can you, real quickly, can you type into the chat, are you watching on desktop or on mobile? And by the way, and after you do that, do you see a delay in my own, like between what my lips are doing and what the audio is, or is it just for Stephanie? If Robin is still there, she's like, dude, these people are crazy. What do they got going on Saturday? I thought I was here for a Family from the Heart episode.
Me too. Me too, Robin. Me too.
All right, so let's get rid of that and then hide comment. All right. Let me take a drink. Did you take your potty break?
I did. I don't have to be told twice.
All right. So Robin may have moved on with her day, which I totally would understand. All right. Are we ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Take 2.
Welcome to another episode of The Family from the Heart, a podcast that is devoted to giving you a behind-the-scenes look into the lives of the Ravenscraft family, a family that has given up on the ordinary to pursue the lives for which they were created. Now, here are your hosts, Cliff and Stephanie.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Family from the Heart podcast. My name is Cliff Ravenscraft.
I'm Stephanie Ravenscraft.
And we are broadcasting live on the internet. Family from the Heart is back as a live show every Saturday, except for the ones where we may occasionally cancel because of other obligations or commitments that we have in our schedule as a family and as a married couple. But for the most part, on Saturdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, you can join us live either on Stephanie's Facebook profile over at facebook.com/Stephanie Ravenscraft, my Facebook profile, Cliff Raven or Facebook.com/Cliff Ravenscraft, or on YouTube at YouTube.com/Cliff Ravenscraft. So, Stephanie, today I wrote down that our topic of the day is that we are going to speak about what we are watching on television currently, and I also suggested that we might give a Thanksgiving 2023 recap. So, with that being said, where would you like to start?
I mean, at the very beginning.
Okay. So
It's a very good place to start.
well, since I started with what we're watching on television, why don't
You
we
don't
start
even
there?
get it. You're no fun.
Alrighty. Sound of Music
You're absolutely
reference.
no fun.
I'm not going to sing it, though.
You don't have to sing it, but a small reply would be nice. Anyway,
I'm sorry.
no,
That
so
was
what we're
quite
watching
clever
on
of
television?
you, Stephanie.
It really wasn't, but anyway. What we're watching on television. So right now we are watching season 2 of The Gilded Age on Max. And
what is The
Lessons
Gilded
in
Age?
Chemistry.
Let's talk about that one first.
Well, I was going to, but I was just going to say what else we're watching. And we'll
Okay,
talk
go
about that
ahead and
next.
to say
Anyway,
what else we're watching.
Lessons in Chemistry on Apple TV Plus.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Is that what that's called?
It is.
So The Gilded Age, we're in season 2. It is set in like the early, like the 1920s maybe? I don't know, in New York. Well, yeah, because didn't they say it was like a turn of the century anyway? But and it has this whole new money versus old money, and it's caused this rift and this war amongst New York society.
Yeah, it is.
And
It is very much it's almost like a class war, but the crazy thing is you've got what is class defined by? And this is a
Right.
class that's not necessarily defined by money alone, but what is the source of that money and how long have you had money? It's really awkward.
did you make your own money or did you inherit your money?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a fascinating story. The thing that I like about it, it's written by Julian Fellows, which is the gentleman behind Downton Abbey. And Downton Abbey is one of our favorite shows. I absolutely loved every single season of Downton Abbey. I've enjoyed, not loved, but I've enjoyed all of the Downton Abbey movies. But the show itself, the music, the writing, the characters, the character development, the just cinematography, everything about Downton Abbey was fantastic. And they've brought all of those key ingredients that made Downton Abbey a success. Most of that is here. Now, there is something about Downton Abbey I think is a little bit more special than The Gilded Age for me, and that is just my interest in British culture and British history from that perspective. Whereas from what we're seeing in The Gilded Age, I feel like we're fairly familiar with how things came about here from American history. At least for me, I studied American history in college, so I felt like I know a lot of it. It is fun to see it put in this production and told from this angle, but it is an incredible show. So what is it about The Gilded Age is attracting to you, Stephanie?
The costumes and the snark. Hands down. My absolute two favorites. Christine Baranski's character, I love to hate her because she has the best lines. She absolutely has the best lines. And I don't hate her. You don't hate her, but she is so set in that her way is the right way, that nobody else has a voice around her because her way is the only right way. But she has the best lines, and the costumes are just breathtaking. Because even the ones who are, even the characters who are not in that high society upper class, even those costumes are beyond breathtaking. But when you're dealing with the whole, money is of no consequence and you just throw it around, and it's all about showing up the next person, so each one is bigger and better than the last. They're just phenomenal.
Yeah. So
and, but yeah.
yeah, I think more than anything, I just love the just overall feel and vibe of a Julian Fellows show. I mean, if you enjoyed Downton Abbey and you're not watching The Gilded Age, then you should check out The Gilded Age. I really do. I mean, if you really enjoyed Downton Abbey, and if you've never watched either of these shows, and you're looking for shows to watch, I would encourage you not to start with The Gilded Age. I would encourage you to go all the way back to season 1, episode 1 of Downton Abbey, work your way through the Downton Abbey archives, and then come to The Gilded Age. It would be a worthy pursuit for those who are interested in television. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Anything else on The Gilded Age?
No, it's fantastic. The storytelling, the way that the world moved then, and by that I mean connection. Everything is about a connection. Nothing really was about your feelings or how. It was all about appearances and knowing the right people and being seen with the right people. And so it's fascinating because I feel like it's so disconnected from my life and how I live. So,
well, now that you say that phrase, I do want to say you just brought something up. One of the things that I enjoy about this show is in a way, it's showing how we have been kind of conditioned in culture to treat certain people certain ways. And especially you and I have done a great deal of work of breaking free from a lot of those ways of seeing people and seeing situations and limiting beliefs and seeing people as different than us and all of these other things. So, it does help you understand. It's like, wow, this was pretty heavily ingrained, and people's livelihoods were impacted by who you treated a certain way and who you let into
Right.
your inner circle. And we've come a long way from those days, but it's still the trace effects of that are still handed down as generational trauma for generation after generation. It's still out there today,
Yeah.
pretty prevalently.
Absolutely. And they're dealing with some new storylines this season where there is a character who was well-to-do and went bankrupt and had to get a job as a servant for his livelihood, and then how that impacts like all of the rest of the people in his life. And so that's a fascinating thing when they're covering someone who was on top and fell to the bottom, and as they see it. That's not how I'm phrasing it. That's how the story is telling it. And then they're showing a character whose parents were slaves, and after slavery was ended, then they moved north for a different life and to offer their child a different life. But she's only lived in the north, and now she's experiencing what life as a young Black woman is life in the South, and that's fascinating. And so they're covering all of these different nuances of that time in this second season that they didn't touch on in the first, and I'm in I'm entranced by it. It really is a phenomenal storytelling.
It is. So, The Gilded Age on Max, definitely worth checking out. All right, so the next show that you mentioned was the fact that we're watching Lessons in Chemistry on Apple TV Plus. How did we hear about this? I think you're the one who heard about it. So, how did you hear about it, and how would you describe the show?
I think I saw a preview for it on social media, and I knew that it was based on a book. I'm very glad to learn that it's a mini series, and so it's not going to go beyond the 8 or whatever episodes that. Yeah, I think it's 8 because we have 3 left. So it's not going to go beyond these 8 lessons. They're really just covering the book. And I love this story. I love that they're taking this character who is, some would say, unemotional and closed off, and I mean, she is a scientist in the 50s when it wasn't okay for women to do anything but stay at home and have kids and make a drink for their husband at the end of the day. And that's a direct quote from the show. Like, that's taken directly out of the storyline. But and so through her life circumstances and situations and things that have happened, and being in the time that she was in, she's really in this box of what she can do. And it's fascinating, but it also makes me thankful that I was born when I was, and that I have what I have, although, yeah, I'm not going there. Anyway, but I love I love period pieces. I do. I'm not as maybe engrossed in the history as you are, because I didn't study it. I barely passed American history in high school. But because history just wasn't my thing, numbers were. And I was okay with that. But I really do love these period pieces, and you can see really how far we've come in some ways and how far we haven't moved at all in others.
Yeah. So the one thing that I thought about this show from the very beginning is I thought it was going to be kind of a love story. And I'm not going to share anything as to the storyline or plotline because I don't want to give anything away for anybody who hasn't read the book. I didn't even know this was based upon a book until you told me. It's funny though. I was talking to some of my clients and they said, "So what are you and Stephanie watching these days?" And I told them, and one of the ones listed I said was Lessons. Oh, that's based upon a book, isn't it? And I'm like, yeah, I guess so. That's what I hear.
It is.
So anyway, but the first episode led me to think that I was in for a certain type of television show, only to be rudely awakened to the fact that this is a different kind of story that's being told, which is fine. I'm open for whatever this is, but boy, if you haven't read the book, there's a bit of a plot twist, and
it's gonna rock you. I would argue that it is a love story, just not the type that you thought it would be.
That's what I mean. Yeah. It definitely is a love story. And I do like now this is a period of history that I didn't study very much. This was, well, that's absolutely not true. Okay. Because I did study American history, and this is during the civil rights movement. And so this is very much during that period of time where those things are. And this show does bring in, black community, white community. It shows male versus female and women's rights and the way that they're respected and not respected. I think
not respected is the only correct term there. Go ahead.
I would say that what you will find is in the show.
It depends on the character.
It does. That's exactly right. It depends on the character, and some of them there's growth in even that in some of the people over the period of time. Anyway, it's a fascinating show. I think I agree with you. I'm thrilled that this isn't going to be one of those things that we're going to watch season after season after season of. But yeah. And then, if I'm not mistaken, after we finish this show, Lessons in Chemistry, which I think we have, what, 4 more episodes?
Three.
Okay. And then we just finished Loki, which, by the way, was incredible. And I just heard...
That's fantastic.
I heard that that's the last time Tom Hiddleston is ever supposed to play the character of Loki. Have you heard that?
I have not, but that ending makes sense.
Yeah.
That ending makes sense. And the whole introduction of the TVA and this moving through time and space, and they were in season 1, they were very what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know the word I'm looking for, but several times they mentioned that he is a Loki. He is not Loki.
Oh, okay, gotcha. He's a variant.
Did you catch that? He's a variant. He is a Loki, because so is Sylvie. Was that her name? Sylvie is also a Loki. Like, they were very, very adamant in season 1 that.
Do you think Sylvie is going to play Loki in future variations of the Marvel universe? Interesting.
I don't know, but
anyway, so we're talking about, of course, the television show Loki on Disney Plus, which was fantastic. I think was this the second or third season? Second season.
The second.
Yeah, second season. And I liked the second season even better than the first, but you kind of have to have all of it. And it was really good. So that's Loki, that's Lessons in Chemistry, and then The Gilded Age is something that we're watching as it comes out. We've watched 3 or 4 episodes so far, and there's going to be, probably 8 episodes in this season?
Probably, and I think we've seen 4.
Okay, that sounds about right. The great news is that probably by the end of this week, we will have finished Lessons in Chemistry, and then we will only be getting 1 episode per week for The Gilded Age, which I'm super excited about what's coming next. Do you want to tell people what's coming next?
Is that The Big Bang Theory? Is that what's coming?
Are you excited about it?
I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I don't know that I have the same giddy excitement that you do, but that's okay. Some are my picks and some are your picks, and that's how we watch television now. I also love that we we're binge watching television. Like, this whole with The Gilded Age, with waiting for it to come out. This is painful. How did we spend our entire lives doing this? I just don't know. But so I really like going back and watching these older shows that have already aired. We did that with Charmed, and we did that with The Blacklist, and so I really like this whole binging, this being in one universe, this one story, this one world that has been created, and just seeing that to completion, and then moving on to the next show.
Yeah.
So,
by the way,
I really like that.
Your dad has posted a comment. I'll let you read this one. Can you see that?
Yep. Mom and I watched Loki, and I think the writers are smoking some good stuff. Wow. Well, awesome. Maybe, but it was really good storytelling.
It was definitely good storytelling. I loved it. All right, so The Big Bang Theory. Here's what I want to know about The Big Bang Theory, because I am interested in knowing. I mean, I know you say you're not giddy about it, but what I think about The Big Bang Theory is, number one, it's 30-minute episodes, so it's going to be much shorter per episode.
Probably 23, because it was 30 minutes when it aired on television with commercials.
Yep. The other thing is no commercials, so I'm excited about that. The other thing is that I did not know this, but Big Bang Theory was on television for 12 years, and it started in 2007. And what that means is there's a lot, even though they did a lot of reruns and syndication and stuff like that. And even though during the later years when I finally, it's like, okay, this is one of my shows and I've got to know what day and what time this is on. And I watched a lot of it. I've seen a majority of the latter episodes, like maybe from episodes or seasons 4 and 5 all the way through the end. I'm pretty sure I've seen almost all the episodes, but I'm also certain that I may have skipped an episode here and there or missed an episode here and there. Because remember, we're talking about the early days of DVRs, right? Where sometimes we may have made a switch from one service over to another, and some things. So there are I'm certain there are episodes I've missed. And in 2008, that was the first year we started this business. So I know for a fact I didn't capture every episode of The Big Bang Theory, because I know this. Had I been watching The Big Bang Theory, we would have had a Big Bang Theory fan podcast.
I'm actually very thankful you didn't find it until later.
I think you might be surprised, because let me ask you this: do you think you've seen as many episodes of Big Bang Theory? I know you didn't watch the last season or all of the last season, and I did, but prior to that, do you think you and I probably saw all the same episodes together, or do you think I've watched some more without you?
Oh, I think you've watched plenty without me, because I don't think I've seen the last 3 seasons.
Okay.
Like, I haven't seen all of.
I'm wondering if you will change your mind about how you feel about the show, not after watching the first season, but after watching the second season, because there are things that I have learned about those seasons, and then putting it on top of the things. I think this show is phenomenal in how the writing and the stories and the character arcs have gone. And also, for me personally, I am reading this book right now. I got to find the information on it here. It's called The Big Bang Theory, and let me pull up here about this book. The Definitive Inside Story of the Epic Hit Series. And the audio, the typical time to read is 10 hours and 35 minutes. It is 529 pages. It's practically anything and everything you could ever want to know about how this show was made and all the behind-the-scenes stories and how it almost didn't happen. There's so many fantastic tidbits and stuff like that, but I'm really excited to go through and watch this. And if we get through it and you're like, okay, this isn't for me, then I will just continue watching it on my own. But I think.
But no, I'm gonna watch it. I mean, come on. I stayed with 7-7 until that show stopped airing. Like, I can handle watching something that is clearly a train wreck. But
would you?
Big
Bang Theory is not a train wreck.
I know. I was making a comparison.
If you can watch a train wreck, you can watch Big Bang Theory, is what you're saying.
Basically. But I did stop watching Grey's Anatomy. I had enough of that at a certain point, and
I tapped out much earlier than you on that one.
You did, but I'm also I committed to something. I'm going to finish it, but I don't think I'm going to have that with. It was funny. There are funny aspects. I'm really looking forward to watching it. I'm just not as giddy about it as you are. That's all.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing what you're talking about with all of the character development and all of that things, because I'm from, like, Penny's character never developed. They didn't give her any character development.
See that
from my perspective. So what you're saying is I missed that in not seeing the last 3 seasons. But if the show ran for 12 years and it took the last 3 seasons for her to get character development, then, and if you're just talking about her getting married, then that's not character development. That's saying that she needed a man to complete her. Like, where was her character development? I'm waiting for it. I'm looking forward to seeing it. That's the point I'm saying.
So here's something that I want to share, and I think this will be valuable as a filter to watch the show. Um, the best duo when it comes to this show, the best duo, hands down, is the character of Penny and Sheldon. That relationship is the key relationship that makes the Big Bang Theory happen.
Is that from your book or is that from your opinion?
That it is from the book, but as they were saying it in the book, it's like, yes, this is exactly what.
But you would have never come to that conclusion on your own.
No, I would.
You needed the book to tell you that.
No, that's not true.
Okay.
It's something that every time there was a Penny and Sheldon moment, have always been my favorite thing. It's like, wow, that is other parts of the show funny, right? It's like, oh, that's college humor funny, that kind of thing. That this is a funny show. But it's like, wow, that's a touching moment. And there's lots of those throughout the entire series.
Okay.
But the most touching, and it's like, yes, there's been some Howard and Bernadette touching moments, and there's been a Sheldon and Amy touching moments, and there's been some, but no, the hands down best, most touching, meaningful relationship moments have always been between Sheldon and Penny.
Okay.
Cool. So, if anybody else is going to go through and rewatch all of the Big Bang Theory, which I think is currently on Max in the United States anyway, go through and watch it with that filter. See if you agree. And that, for me, that's why I'm giddy to go through this, and also to catch some of those missed episodes from 2007. I was still selling insurance in 2007. That's crazy to me. And that was way before 2007 and 2008. Those years were before. Actually, no, that might have been 2008. Might have been when we first got like a DVR. So yeah, I know for a fact I'm gonna be seeing what. You're shaking your head no.
We would have had one. Well, no, we would have had one before then because we started podcasting about Lost in 2005.
Okay. So well,
no.
I do know that I never set the DVR.
I call
record.
bogus memory.
Okay, fine. Moving on. Okay, so we talked. Is there anything else we're watching on television, Stephanie? We will give you updates on Stephanie's feelings about the Big Bang Theory as we continue along. Maybe it'll be a segment each week on Family from the Heart podcast.
Fair enough.
It'll be the Big Bang Theory fan podcast segment of the Family from the Heart podcast. Or not.
You keep trying. I did say I would record if we go see the Hunger Games prequel.
Oh, that's right. You did say we would record a
the Ballad of the Songbird and something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's whatever that prequel
which we
book
should
is called.
Probably check with McKenna because we said we were going to go see that tonight, and I also said I'm not doing anything today but this live stream. So we should probably check in and see where we stand.
I'm pretty sure I know where we stand as far as last chat with McKenna, and that's at 7:00. We're at the Greendale Cinema watching this movie.
Oh, it's 7? Okay.
7, yeah.
I didn't catch that. So
is that still cool with you?
No one communicated that to me, but yes, that is still cool with me. We need to bring in the crate for Maggie out of the garage.
Sounds good. All right, so Thanksgiving recap 2023.
It's done. It's done. My whole body aches from standing. My hands are sore. The muscles in my hands are really sore and stiff this morning from preparation and cutting and all the fun stuff. But I think it went well.
I do too. We had Thanksgiving Day itself on Thursday. It was just myself and Stephanie was here and McKenna. So it was just the three of us. Megan and Matthew had family gatherings on their significant others' side. So they went and did that. And we had our family Thanksgiving on Friday, which also just so happened to be Megan's 24th birthday. So, and by the way, Jesse is here. DJ Scoob says, hi, Cliff and Stephanie. Hello.
Hello.
Glad to have you here. So, yeah. Anything else that, like, do you want to talk about?
Well, no, I mean, so I started prep on, well, I actually started prep on Wednesday, made the brine for my turkey because that has to chill overnight and everything before the turkey goes in it. And so then on Thursday, I had a bunch of house stuff to do. Like I had a whole lot of things to do. And on top of that, making pies and getting the turkey in the brine before I went to bed and that kind of, so I was busy. We played a very fascinating game of Scrabble.
What's wrong with the
don't
Scrabble?
know
I
how-
thought it was just a normal game of Scrabble.
No, it was a normal game of Scrabble. It was fascinating because I was done playing Scrabble like an hour before the Scrabble game was actually over. And I think I've played Scrabble more this year than I have in my entire life, and I've only played it like 4 times this year. So there's that. But no, we played a game with McKenna, which we did have a good time, but I was so tired and I was ready to be done and it wasn't done yet. The game. I baked my pies. McKenna helped. Did she help make the pies? I feel like she helped make the pies, but anyway. And then yesterday, McKenna helped me cook all day. She really did. Like
she
it
made
was
pepper
not
steak on Thursday.
She did. I walked her through. She's like, "Mom, you made I said, "No, you made it. I just told you what to do." I was just her recipe in the start. Like there were I did do some hands-on things. Like I cooked the first batch of meat while she was still cutting the second, and I mean, so there were some things that I helped with, but she wanted to learn how to make it on her own, and so I was teaching her how to make it on her own. And so we did that was that on Thursday?
Yes, that was pepper steak was on Thursday.
Okay.
Or was that Wednesday?
And
no, it was.
I don't know.
Wednesday. Now that you say it, that was Wednesday because she had leftovers on Thursday. Or did she have leftovers on Thanksgiving?
Yeah, no, she would have had leftover on. She had leftovers on Thursday. So
okay.
that was on Wednesday, and then everybody came over. It was Megan's birthday, but I feel like Megan's birthday got overshadowed by everybody else being here. It's weird.
You mean everybody else being here for Thanksgiving?
Right.
Instead of everybody being there for Megan.
Right. And so I'm having a hard time adjusting to birthdays as the parent of an adult because it's so different than how I did birthdays with parents as children.
Okay, tell me more.
Does that make sense? So for me, I have a lot of siblings, and so my birthday was just another day in the summer. And my dad is a car enthusiast who happened to love going to this car show that happened every year around my birthday. And it's just the way that it fell. And so when I had kids, I wanted to make their birthdays a big deal. And especially because I have 2 kids whose birthdays fall around a holiday. And I have done that since they were very little. Also, I have a brother whose summer birthday is a month before mine. And so we had combined birthday parties a lot while I was growing up. So that also played into my decision to do this. But I always wanted to make birthdays special, which I feel like we always did. Even from a very early age, they got to choose between a party and a gift, but we were always doing something. We would go to dinner and they would get a gift, or we would have a party and then we would have our own private. If they had a party, we just had a dinner at home, made their favorite or whatever. And those went all the way through. But like thinking when Megan went to college, we went to me and you and Matthew and McKenna went down to Nashville. Did we pick her up on the way or did she meet us down there? I don't remember, but we spent, was that her 19th or 20th birthday? I don't know. I feel like it was her first birthday outside of the house, which would have made it her 19th birthday. Because I wasn't mentally prepared to not spend a birthday with her. And then now, Megan and Matthew have now had birthdays where I haven't seen them on that day. And so I'm adjusting to that. But because she was here and we were with her, but it was for Thanksgiving and not her birthday, I feel like it got overshadowed. Like, also, I might feel an emotional need to celebrate that day because that's the day I became a mom. Like that's not just the day that Megan was born. She made me a mom that day, and that was like the thing that I wanted most in my life at that point. And so am I making sense or am I just rattling on about how I feel like the day got just another day for Megan because everybody was here for Thanksgiving. Also, she was in a foul mood when she got here.
She was in a foul mood. But hey, that just happens from time.
Jacob comes in and he's like, just to let you know, Megan's in a bad mood. I'm like, oh, we caught on real quick.
we felt the chill in the air. It was fun. For me, I feel like for the most part, I kind of just made the idea that that Thanksgiving or our Friday that we were all there to celebrate Megan's birthday. It's for me, that was what the whole day was about in my mind.
That would have been really easy for me if I wasn't preparing Thanksgiving food.
Yeah, I was like, hey, this big feast
that would
for
have been
Megan's
easy
birthday.
If I was you and all I had to do was, get a table and send somebody else for some chairs and run to the store for some cheese, like I probably could have come up with the same with the same thought process, but I was doing and focusing on quite a bit more.
We should have put 24 candles in the pie.
She did say she didn't want a cake, that she was fine with pie.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Anyway, it was definitely a different Thanksgiving vibe this year than previous Thanksgivings. And not in a bad way. It was just a different vibe.
It was a very different vibe. And here we've added people to our family in recent years. So there are more people, but we ate less food. I made the same amount of food that actually I made less because the sweet potato casserole is a recipe that I normally double, and I did not double it this year. I just made, so it was less of that. But I have more now. Megan and Jacob are out of town for his family Thanksgiving today. And we have Maggie. So if you've seen a little black dog come and give me some love, well, she's not little, she's medium. But if you've seen the black dog come up, and she's not ours, that's Maggie, that's our grandpup. And she's staying with us until tomorrow afternoon. Because Megan and Jacob are out of town for his family Thanksgiving today and tomorrow. Or today and half of tomorrow. And when they come to pick up Maggie tomorrow, they're taking leftovers home with them. But there was no point in them taking them last night if they won't be home today, right? So that's one way to get rid of some leftovers. Matthew is on a new eating plan. So number one, yesterday he barely ate anything, and number two, he didn't take any leftovers because it would take him off his meal plan. And I'm like, hello, me too, dude. Like, I can't eat these leftovers either. I will. I'm going to use the turkey and make a soup or what was the other thing? A turkey shepherd's pie was a recipe that I saw that I thought I might like. Actually, that sounds really good because that's kind of like pot pie with mashed potatoes. I mean, does it get better than that? Which I could use my leftover mashed potatoes for. And which is one of the things that really surprises me. McKenna is a lover of mashed potatoes and has been known to eat more than the rest of the family's fair share of mashed potatoes. but we barely made a dent in the 5 pounds of potatoes that I made yesterday. So, so that was it. That was also a big thing, is that we don't need, and I'm not the only one who said it. I think all 3 of my kids also told me yesterday, we don't need as much food, Mom. Like, we should start halving things. Like, fair. Okay. Next year, we're cutting it.
Half
Actually,
a
I
turkey.
said next year we should do what we used to do with your family, and for nostalgia reasons, do the B&B riverboat.
Yeah.
It won't be good food, but it'll be food I didn't cook. So,
It'd definitely be a lot less preparation, that's for sure. Anyway, I think overall it was just a different feeling Thanksgiving from years past. What was Thanksgiving last year? I don't even remember.
last year Megan and Jacob were still in Bowling Green, and Matthew was with Bella's family, and so it was just me, you, and McKenna. And I bought one of these pre-put together Costco meals. So we did have turkey and mashed potatoes, and but it was put together by Costco, and I just cooked it when I got home, or when we were ready. That's what we did last year. And the year before that was the year that you had COVID, and so we didn't do anything.
I think that's what it is. I think COVID hit it. I think Thanksgiving is just like a really weird thing that is slowly. I felt like yesterday was slowly reintroducing a Thanksgiving, trying to fit an old tradition into a new post-COVID era.
Right.
That's how I would describe the feeling of it.
I say next year we let our children's significant others' families do, and we go get pizza on like Sunday afternoon. I'm just like,
I'm just wondering.
I think the Thanksgiving thing has played its course in my lifetime. I'm kind of over it.
It is so weird to think about that, and of course somebody was making fun of me yesterday. Somebody says, Dad's got all woke here before you guys got here, but really when it comes down to it, what is Thanksgiving? And I have a whole lot of different thoughts and feelings about the idea of colonialism and colonization and just all of this other stuff, and it's like, wow. And yeah, it just, the things that we've been taught that Thanksgiving is just it is a narrative, and it's been a narrative that has been a part of my upbringing for so many years, and I think there's a lot of value to having a time of thankfulness and gratitude and families coming together and things like that. But there's so many different things that you hear about the holidays and people gathering together, and it's like, this is going to be the most stressful time of the year, and you got to put up your barriers and guards because people are going to say things that, at the dinner table, you got these divisions between people and their politics and their philosophies and their religions, and you bring everybody together around the table, and we're all supposed to have, and it's like, and granted, I mean, that all is just what it is, but yeah, it's just interesting to see Thanksgiving as this celebration of, wow, where did it begin? And there are other stories that are floating around as to how the holiday of Thanksgiving came about, and the thankfulness that, the elimination of the savages and all this other stuff. And I'm like, this is I don't know, just a little bit of a different vibe and feeling about this whole idea of celebrating the fact that, we're this nation that have come here and created our way here, and what sacrifices and what was sacrificed in the bringing about of all of that. So I mentioned that while it was just me, you, and McKenna, and McKenna is like, you guys missed it. Dad got all woke on us here earlier. Anyway, it is interesting.
It is, and it has it yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Stephanie said it. So in
Sorry,
summary,
I'm sorry. I'm no longer
yeah.
alone.
You're no longer alone. Is
Okay.
McKenna down here?
Yes.
Okay. Tell McKenna I said hello.
Yeah. Dad says hello. She said,
Okay. Awesome. Do we want to say anything else, or just wrap this episode up and we can leave our other topics for next week?
No. You are you not gonna? You're not gonna. I really need us to mention my progress on.
Oh, please do tell us,
deep
Stephanie.
cleaning this house.
Yes, we need. So we're gonna have another weekly installment. We should have jingles made. Big Bang jingle. Jingle for like a little, like like we used to do with the Lost podcast. We had the jingles for different.
We had
segments.
multiple jingles. We had jingles for everything. But
So this is the deep cleaning update.
Go ahead. A deep cleaning update. I have been on this task to deep clean this house. It's been in my mind and on my mind for a long time. I'm actually implementing it now that I have all my time back. And so let's see. Last month, Megan made me this beautiful little calendar. Can you see it?
I do see it.
Yep, you can. You can see. I know you can see it because I'm delayed. So when I put it back down, I could see it. So we made a calendar of what I was going to clean and when. I'm a little bit behind because I moved some things around. So I'll pick back up on it on Monday. But this was fantastic to just actually see that I could declutter and deep clean this house in the month of November. It'll run me into the first week of December just because I did have a week where I was feeling really creative, and so instead of cleaning, I was making decorations for my Christmas decorations. But I've now done like most of the house. This floor is done. I have to vacuum the craft room and do the mud room, which I'm probably going to schedule a day with you to do the mud room. Not everything in there is mine, and some of it's yours. So I think we should do that one together to go through those cubbies and get things cleaned off. Also, we no longer need those cubbies. They were great when we bought this house and we had 3 kids to hang their coats and their backpacks in there. But now they're just full of things that aren't being used. So I still have to vacuum and the craft room and clean the mud room, but then this floor is done. This floor is done. Upstairs, the only things left are the kids' rooms have not been touched, but they were never on my list to begin with. I will do McKenna's room doesn't need to be touched. She still lives there periodically when she's home from college. Matthew took most of his things with him when he left, and so after the wedding is over, I will get with him and have him come back and do something with the very few things that he left in there. Megan and I already have plans to do her bedroom in February after the wedding and the honeymoon and everything has calmed back down before her new wedding season starts. So the only thing left upstairs is our bedroom, bathroom, and closet. And I was going to start on the bedroom on Thursday. I was going to work on our bedroom on Thanksgiving Day. And maybe that's part of my disconnect too, is that I was just, going through my to-do list. I'm just doing things on Thursday. But I got distracted. Had some interruptions, moved on to other things, put my energy elsewhere on Thursday. And so on Monday, I will start and do our bedroom and then our bathroom and our closet. But I'm almost done. The big thing will be the garage. I won't be, because things have been moved to the garage as I've come through the house. So things that I no longer want in the house have been, making their way out to the garage. I don't know if I will call like the garbage company and order a big dumpster and just toss it all. If I will have I think I read one of the local moving companies, I think, comes and picks up like junk. Like, so I could do that. I'm not sure how I will deal with that when I get to the garage, but I'll deal with it when I get to the garage. But downstairs where you are, I can't do the room, the spare room on my own, because again, not all of that is mine. I can't even get into that closet because you have totally blocked that closet with equipment and stuff. So we'll need to put that as a day on the calendar, and we can do that together. But I'm making so much progress. Like, so much is done, which is really good, because when I was just thinking about it in just, random thoughts, this is a big house, and it just seemed like such a huge undertaking to declutter 9 years worth of stuff that's not all mine. But last night I had I think it was a good time. I hope everybody else had a good time. And were you going to get me something? I don't know what I like that spotted owl thing. Okay.
She going to Big B Coffee?
Yes. Huh? Hot. Yes. Yes, she's going to Big B Coffee. And she's bringing me a spotted owl. Hot, in case you were wondering.
Awesome.
But it was such a big undertaking. But no, last night, all 3 kids were here at one time. And so after we had dinner and your parents had headed out, I'm like, all right, I need my 3 children to meet me in the loft. My kids grew up with a love of stuffed animals. They had every kind of stuffed animal. I'm pulling them out of the box, and McKenna's telling us their names. And, yes, I'm keeping that. Yes, because she kept more than anybody else did. But I have this giant utility tub that I used a craft sticky spray, and I covered it with fabric to match the decorations of the loft. And I did that years ago. And it has been it's like a toy box. So I made a toy box that holds all of the stuffed animals. Well, there were so many stuffed animals in it, it would no longer close properly. And Leo thinks that anything that is stuffed is now his. So every time we went upstairs or downstairs, he was claiming a new toy out of the toy box. And I took him upstairs. I'm like, all right, we're going to go through this tub. Everybody has a garbage bag. We're going to fill them up with what you don't want to keep, what you're willing to get rid of. And we had a couple that just had a better life while they were here and weren't going to get they had to go in the trash. But it was fun because they're like, oh, that's mine. I remember that. I don't need to keep it, but and just bringing up memories. But good gracious, McKenna knew the name of all of her bears that we were pulling out. And so the toy box now closes. There are 3.5, right? Is that right? 3.5 full bags of stuffed animals that I'm going to donate to somewhere. If anybody knows a good place that will take stuffed animals that are ready to be loved by another child, send me an email at stephanie@stephanieravenscraft.com. Please put stuffed animal donation in the subject line so it doesn't get, accidentally archived, because I get a lot of emails. And I try to read them, but now people are starting to send, like, even companies that I have bought from are sending emails that look like it's coming from a person, but really it's an advertisement or a coupon or something for their company. But
last year when we did the fall yard sale, the neighborhood yard sale, we had an entire, because we had more stuffed animals, and we had the entire table with, stacked high of stuffed animals. And what did we have? We had a special offer: buy none and get two free.
Yes. Oh, we did. We just gave them away for free because stuffed animals were something that brought my kids so much joy, and I'm ready for them to, bring somebody else joy. One girl, she was probably a preteen, maybe early teens. She's got this big, one of the really big ones, because while my kids had little stuffed animals, they also had like oversized stuffed animals, and one of them was this long caterpillar that I had gotten McKenna for Valentine's Day, and it says "I love you" down the side in its different sections, and she's got it all wrapped around her like a boa, and she's walking away, and she looks at her friends and she goes, "My mom's gonna kill me." But if it brought that little girl joy, that's really all I care about.
Yeah, and
hopefully that's all her mom would care about too.
Yeah, and it was fun to see all of those go as well during the. I was actually shocked at some of the things that didn't sell at the yard sale, but the fact that all of the stuffed animals went. I know we were giving them away for free, but still, a lot of people would hesitate. It's like, does this, are there cats in the house, or is there a smoker in the house, or anything like that? There's a lot of thoughts that would go through my head about whether or not I would want to take away a secondhand stuffed animal. Now, our home, we don't have any of those things. So we do have a dog, but he's a hypoallergenic dog, so he's not one that sheds or anything like that. So anyway, let's see
Maggie
here.
takes care of that when she comes to visit. She sheds everywhere.
Your dad says bye, by the way. He had something that he has to do. And he says, let's see here. I don't understand what he's actually saying. He says this. He says, buy time to do something, even if it wrong, love you.
My dad has a hard time texting, so I understand.
Okay.
Or he talks to text, and there's a miscommunication between him and the
text. Got it.
The text. So, yeah. Anyway,
so decluttering, yes, and it was a good time. And I actually got some Build-A-Bears in my own collection now. So I
we were so close to getting rid of them. I don't know why.
I adopted all of the superhero Build-A-Bears. So I now have Captain America,
of which we have many.
I have a Star Wars bear. I have let's see here, Captain Marvel, Captain America, Spider-Man,
Thor,
Spider-Man,
Iron Man,
and I have Batman. Yeah. And Superman.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all they're all in the loft area on display. They're now my Build-A-Bears.
They were already in the loft area on display, but he's moved said display.
Well, they're display.
Prominent.
Yeah, they're prominent display now. So anyway, I'm kind of liking this. I'm digging the loft being my loft now.
It's still our loft, and since I'm the one cleaning it, I think I get first dibs. So
okay, well that's fine. And seeing as how you probably will never be in the loft, I'm totally cool with you always having first dibs.
That's actually not true. If I had, and now that I can. That's actually not true. Now that I can move that toy box in front of the stairs so that Leo can't go down without me, I can very happily hang out in the loft.
Gotcha. I don't think that that toy box is big enough to block the entire steps, though.
I think you're wrong because I've already done it.
Okay. Fair enough. I guess it's not my loft after all.
Guess not. But thank you for displaying your bears. I will very much enjoy looking at them while I'm sitting there.
Nice. All right. I think we should probably wrap things up. What do you think?
Okay. Yeah.
And by the way, I don't know how I missed this, but Rita was here. I don't know if she is here still, but I missed this comment. She says, I watched them all and am now reading the book, my very favorite. So I'm thinking that might have been when we were talking about the Big Bang
The Hunger
Theory.
Games.
Oh.
No, that would be when we were talking about that going to. That's what I would take from that comment.
Oh, okay. So that could have been the
yeah.
Hunger Games. Yeah. Okay. Watch them all.
They were good. They were good movies. They did a very good job. I mean, you can't
Rita, if
take
you're
a
here,
book.
let us know. I'm curious.
You can't. Oh,
Oh,
no,
no.
she says Big Bang.
Yeah,
Okay.
she says Big Bang. Okay, I was
Fair
thinking
enough.
it was the Big Bang because she said watch them all and reading the book, and I don't think we talked enough about the other movies to have
You're
that be
probably
there.
right.
But yeah,
You're
okay,
probably
cool.
right.
And Rita, we're thankful that you're here for this entire live stream. How exciting is that?
That is fun.
We are excited to be back, by the way. Let me just do this. I think I still have this music. Yeah. The only thing is I'm not going to be able to see what the countdown timer is. So I can kind of glance over here, but I'd have to be doing it. But we got the music playing in the background. Are you hearing the music in the background, Stephanie?
Yep.
Awesome. We are excited to be back. We will be back next Saturday. I don't think there's anything coming up in the foreseeable future where we will be hindered from showing up for our live show Saturdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. The best place, I think the most preferred place to watch this live stream would either be from my Facebook profile, facebook.com/CliffRavenscraft, or Stephanie's Facebook profile, facebook.com/StephanieRavenscraft. And the reason why is because when your comments come in and you interact with us live, it comes in under your names. So I like that. And then Rita says, haven't watched you two since the kids were young. Well, we're honored that you're here watching us now in this new season of life. We're thrilled that Family from the Heart is back. And we're excited to be here and share our lives with you in this new empty nest season of life. And yeah, we'll be back next week. Stephanie will give us more decluttering updates, and we'll let you know whether or not we got into the Big Bang Theory, and we will share with you all the other items that are on our list of things that we were going to share today. We're just going to move those off to next week. Until next time, we encourage you to, what, Stephanie?
Live your life on purpose.